Testing sound, testing sound. 1, 2, 3. Before we begin the stream, thank you so much to Thunder Games for both telling me you can hear me and for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Be back with the show very shortly. Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome to Zandvoort for round 6 of our championship, the International Racing League Season 2, round 7 of the 10 race championship that will take us through to the end of F1 23. My name is Webbo, and you're on my channel, obviously, so you probably know that already. Good evening, especially to Thunder Games, Ollie, AJ, and Triple Bait, who are already making themselves known and busy in the chat, which is exactly what we like to see. Really important piece of business for you if you're tuning in on demand, if you're not familiar with this particular championship so far, or if you watched the previous race last week. There has been a development. After the race, the post-race stewards decreed that the incident into turn 1 towards the very end of the race was actually decided against Jaden. Jaden was given a 5-second penalty. That means that our winner for the second time this season, and only the first and only two-time winner of a race this season, is Season 1 champion Moist. 5-second penalty applied to Moist, and that allowed Leon to get a second position as well, with Jaden finishing in third position. I don't think Jaden is with us tonight. Unfortunately, couldn't make it, but I can talk to you about the championship as things stand before we head into qualifying. We have Moist on top of the championship, and somehow or other, despite the fact that he's only won two races this year to his many from last season, he is on nearly twice the points of the second place driver. Moist has 123, Adam F on 63. Massive gap again. Then comes Leon on 53, Ollie on 52, Adam K on 51. An incredibly tight battle. A big shout out to Adam F here, Adam Foran, who will be racing with automatic gears because he's broken his hand, and I know personally how difficult that is going to be. So let's cheer on. If you're any neutrals in the audience, then cheer on Adam Foran today, fighting through a very difficult injury that took him out of the previous round. In fifth place, we have Adam K on 51, as I said. Alpha Alex and Jaden are tied on sixth position, and AJ is in eighth with 39, Ricky Maru 38, Jay on 36, Sticky on 36. An incredibly tight midfield we've got that will keep us plenty entertained towards the end of the season. Then we have the likes of Floyd on 18, Spud on 17, Atsu on 15, Ash K on 12, Chuck and Marco joint 16th position on 11. Then joint 18th, Triple Bay and Trappy, with Malmo and Wessel joint 20th. A fantastic and intriguing championship on our hands here, of course, as you would expect from these fantastic drivers we have for you. I'm going to try and find a driver who has made the effort to get out of the pits on time, and big surprise, it's AJ or ARL here, who is first out on track and choosing to take us out there first of all. So we're going to fly down the start-finish straight. You don't build up a huge amount of speed before braking heavily. We're going to pick up third gear into the Tarzan corner before then powering out, using a small amount of banking before going through the very difficult switchback section that leads into this turn 4 Hugenholtz fully banked corner. Then it's the beautiful roller coaster section that the drivers will probably try and go side by side at various points during the race, but it might be a hiding to nothing. This is Shivlak. Don't worry what you heard in F1 Esports. It is pronounced Shivlak. Then we go into Marlborough Bocht and then through into turn 10, which is known as Renault. Then we turn left into 11, an open hairpin of turn 11. It's pretty slow, but holding third gear here. DRS open just as you hit the loud pedal for a short squirt down in towards the Audi S. That's this section of turns 12 and 13. You can go side by side, but beware. Kumho is the next corner, the penultimate corner, turn 14, but really it's the Ari Luyendijk Bocht that is the showstopper here. In low grip conditions, this is not quite flat out, and drivers do come a cropper. ARL, though, no such problem. He goes a 110.124, quick out of the blocks, but on medium tyres. Everybody else coming out for their first run here on the soft tyres. Here is Strike then going through the Ari Luyendijk corner. Very different engine note for him. Adam Foran went fastest, but Strike took it. Strike Moist took it very quickly, a 108.590. He's 0.8 of a second faster than Adam Foran already. And as I say, Adam Foran fighting not quite with one hand tied behind his back, but certainly with one hand still heavily strapped or plastered. Alpha Alex 999 here, one of our race winners earlier on in the season, hasn't been able to quite show that same form reliably through the entire length of the season, so he'll be hoping in this run into the championship showdown that he will be able to pick up those extra few clicks of speed and find some rich form. Goes to cross the line, P5 ahead of his teammate Atsu on a 109.669. Something to build on, but perhaps not quite what he was hoping to get out of this one. I'm wondering whether ARL and Miramar are actually going for 2 laps. Looks like ARL is and did try and go for 2 laps, but that second lap was a bit slow. So not quite sure why we didn't bail into the pits for a pit stop, but we'll see. We'll join Speedy Spud, our session host, on the track, and I'll talk to you about the Constructors' Championship, no surprise to see Aston Martin on 129 are leading the championship, but it's a much closer run thing for the constructors at the moment. McLaren are second on 116 and Alfa Romeo are third on 81. We have Red Bull in fourth place on 68 points, only 4 away from Williams on fifth, with Alpine on 58 points in sixth. Then comes Haas on 51, Mercedes on 38. We have AlphaTauri also on 38 for a joint 8th position, and Ferrari, unfortunately for those Ferrari tifosi who tune in, Leo among them when he has the opportunity, Ferrari at the bottom of the standings on 20 points right now. So we are looking forward to this one and hoping that we get a 6th winner from our 7th race here in the championship. That would be quite something. We have absolutely been spoilt for rich form from the drivers. Ollie manages to go second on a 108.6, giving us a little bit more hope that things will be a bit closer, as Speedy Spud goes on a 109.676 into 8th position. Ricky Maru also managed to put in a time there, a 109.0, within half a second of Strike Moist. Triple Bay is scrubbing up these tyres, just getting out of the way of other drivers, but he's actually the only one, it reads, on a fast lap. ARL is on his 3rd lap on the medium tyres and pushing, it seems, but still slower. I wonder what the tactic is here for ARL. Is this about race prep, in fact, and he's just trying out the tyres on heavy fuel? He has got a 109.5 on those medium tyres. I think he's now due to come into the pits. So certainly has been an interesting run. A fast lap, a slow lap, a fast lap, and then an in-lap from ARL, it seems. And he's managed to get that 109.5. A good place to build his pace. He's got his teammate just ahead of him, less than just over a 1/10 of a second between the two of them, which is great to see. And into the pits, of course, he comes. Who else have we got out there? We've got newcomer Miramar debuting with us here. So he is taking the Mercedes car. So car number 6 there. Miramar. Will be interesting to see how one of our newest debutants fares tonight, as he is about to start his flying lap. Let's join him on board, shall we? Racing in the Russell liveried Mercedes there with the blue strip on the halo. Some distance away from the fully outer point of the circuit on the exit of Tarzan into Hugenholtz, and getting the car hooked up very nicely indeed. Just squeezing that accelerator beautifully through the fast corners here. Just dropping the speed down to 4th gear for the Renault corner, turn 10, and into turn 11 now, through the hairpin, carrying a reasonable amount of minimum speed through that. We'll see how this lap fares at 0.6 of a second under something, assuming. Well, I'm not entirely sure what that is assuming. Chuck Norris is here, and pleased to be watching, it looks like, but not racing. Here we go then for Miramar. First race with us, it seems, and goes to cross the line. 7th place, 109.549. We've got several drivers out on laps we haven't seen yet. We've got Sticky, we've got an Alpine that has spun around. Was that Atsu? No, that must have been Alpha Alex, who was retired from the session in the Hugenholtz corner. So that is definitely going to be difficult for Alpha Alex. We always love to see him come through the grid, but I would also like to see him fighting Moist and Ollie at the top of the standings here. Chuck Norris back working again. Unfortunately, as we know, Chuck Norris doesn't need to work. Work needs Chuck Norris, which is why he's there and not here with us. Down into the Audi S goes Sticky. Just needing to get a time on the board really safely here. So a smart exit through through Ari Luindijk corner. Here we go. And up to VMAX now. Where can he stick the car? Well, Sticky can go into 9th position. Moist and Ollie playing it cool. Leon has put in a time good enough for 3rd position, keeping that strong form. But check out Ricky Maru, look. 38 thousandths of a second only over his current best time, and with a purple middle sector. Has he saved enough tyres for the end of this relatively short circuit here in the dunes of the Netherlands coast? Well, we will never know. I am assuming not, unfortunately for Ricky Maru. Adam Foran is loosely gripping the wheel with his right hand at least, and getting used to, well, that Pirelli tyre has separated from its carcass. It is sitting there like a hula hoop on the top of Hugenholtz, defying gravity. Very interesting physics coding there. Adam Foran obviously on his way into the pits, it seems, on this particular run, but is good enough for 5th with a broken hand. So obviously plenty to cheer on there. We hope that he gets his mouse hand and mouse operation working well enough to provide our thumbnail graphics once again as well, Adam Foran, but not before time, of course. Ash has got a time that is 0.8 of a second slower than he has been before. What about ARL? Well, he is going quicker, so let's hang out with ARL, shall we, as he runs through these mini sectors. We've had a yellow flag for a moment. A couple more corners before an update on his lap time here. Using every inch of the track and a little bit more perhaps over the sector, and he's purple in the middle as he drifts the car beautifully, chucks it into the Audi S at towards the end of the lap. 2 corners to go. He may even be able to pick up a distant tow, and perhaps not too much disruption from, I think, the Williams in front of him is either Marco or Ollie, but ARL not happy with that sector either, and straight into the pits to save time, save a couple of runs off those laps. 6 minutes 20 to go with Strike Moist out there in front, but only by less than 1/10 of a second this time. Here he is, your season 1 champion. He was 2nd season driving for Aston Martin. Of course they retained him, but he got a new teammate in Triple Bay out there as now Moist. And the Aston will take on this tremendously difficult circuit. I hope the drivers don't hear me, but I'm kind of hoping for a bit of rain. And there you saw the rear end getting loose once again through the Gerlach box, turn 3, before heading straight into Hugenholtz. And then down we go, then through the roller coaster section, barely lifting the throttle through Skivlak in turn 8, sorry. Fantastic stuff, and he's got himself a purple sector already. So purple first sector for Strike Moist. Of course, he's only fighting really against the time of himself here. We'll get the update on the approach to the next corner, and he's still up, and he's still purple, and he's using those curbs beautifully once again, floating the Aston Martin through the corners. The car feeling absolutely glorious for Moist, as in the seaside sunshine we go. We're hoping not for any coastal gusts of wind through those corners, and he goes even faster at 108.366 does Moist, and drops the bar somewhat for the chasing pack. It's Ricky Maru then will join next on board the Alfa Romeo Kick Sauber. Let's see what his first sector looks like. It's good. It's good. It's 29 thousandths of a second faster than he's been before. That puts him within range of P3 of Leon. Can he, though, find an extra burst of speed in the second and final sectors of the track? Yellow flags won't worry him too much. They're in the sectors of the track behind him. And now he's good. Wow, that was a magical middle sector from Ricky Maru. Nearly 0.2 faster than he's been before through there. Ricky Maru then. There were some rumours that he had forgotten how to drive, or at least forgotten which foot the brake pedal was in the previous round. He's coming back with a bang. Here comes Ricky Maru to the line, and it's P3 at the moment. P3 for Ricky Maru, a 108.791 with possibly just enough time to get back to the pits. I will await confirmation on that. Triple Bay's not happy. Watch out for this pit lane in the wet or low grip conditions as well, as now the drivers are finishing off their in-laps. We'll just see if Ash is still pushing. Very greedy with the apex curb there was Ash, but the game was kind to him as we go through Vodafone Bocht, the turn 11. Powering out towards now the Audi S. He's quick again, quicker than he's been before. Perhaps not quite quick enough to raise a position. And ARL will be pretty disappointed with his positioning so far. P11, his teammate for Ash K. Ash goes towards the line then, praying for a bump, and it doesn't come 1/1000th of a second. It was, you have to say, barely worth staying out of the pits. Could have come in then, bailed into the pit lane, and potentially got out for a final push lap. Sticky and ARL are out there. Sticky in the first sector, ARL closing on the end of this sector. Speedy Spud is on a lap as well. Let's just check out Speedy. How speedy is Spud? And Marco also on a fast lap, it seems. This feels very gentle, I have to say, from Spud at the moment. So I'm going to ride with ARL. No, ARL is still weaving. So he's not going to push on this lap either. He's trying to time it just right so that he is there for the absolute end of the session. Moist is happy. That is the sound of Moist dusting off his hands and going off to get himself a beverage, because quite frankly he is quite happy that that is all the Aston Martin has underneath him today. Who else have we got on the circuit? We've got Ollie. Now, is Ollie pushing? He absolutely is. He almost drained the battery down the main straight there. So definitely pushing on this sector. 1 minute 23 to go. So it is time to get across the start-finish line to start your final lap for everybody. Here is Ollie, the man most likely at the moment to depose Moist, who is not partaking. Oh, dear me. Too much apex curb. Spat Ollie right out, and he's cleared out the 100-meter marking board as well, which the drivers who haven't learned the track quite so well won't thank him for. He was pushing super hard though. Tell you who else is pushing. Well, it was Ricky Maru, who picked up a purple sector there for a moment, and he's waiting for a good opportunity to attack the next lap. Who else have we actually got pushing hard? Well, here comes ARL, all the pressure on. Really doesn't want to start down in 11th in a tight and twisty technical circuit like the Zandvoort circuit we have to race on tonight. Deep into Hugenholtz, just letting the gravity of the climb up the banking kill the speed for him. Ash has retired, his teammate, from 9th position. Will go no further in this session. So ARL piling on the speed now. There's a yellow flag coming up ahead of him. It's gone green again. I'll be pleased about that. Ollie has retired from the session. There is a Kick Sauber off the circuit as well. Both Moist and Ollie are not going to do anything. Adam Foran has obviously come unstuck there and is pointing the wrong way. Unfortunately, the game has now retired him. So Adam Foran disqualified down to the tail end of the order, unfortunately. For our driver, that is horrible positioning for the McLaren. It could be the ghost of Adam Foran. Here comes ARL to the line from 11th. It's fifth for ARL, so he will be relatively pleased with that, I think. Is Ricky Maru going slowly? I think he might be. Triple Bay has not taken the checkered flag yet. It looks like our drivers, it was push or bust in that final push laps. They have over-pushed, and they have absolutely bust. Triple Bay! How about Triple Bay up to 4th position on a 108.912? Aston Martin will be well chuffed with that one, a 1 and 4 starting position. But it will be his teammate, Moist, as usual, you have to say, on that pole position. But very competitive qualifying session from the drivers. Mistakes are plenty. That kind of bodes for an entertaining race ahead of us, I would imagine, as well. This track is treacherous, in low grip conditions. Strike Moist manages to do it by over a quarter of a second in the end. I think Ole would have been a lot closer had he finished that lap. And there is Strike Moist then on top with a 108.366 to Director Ole, which is a 271 deficit. Ricky Maru in third position, our Norwegian driver in the Alfa Romeo, ahead of the Welshman Triple Bay with a stellar qualifying performance, putting himself within the 1 minute 8s. In fourth place, Leon is fifth, ARL is sixth, Speedy Spud is seventh, Sticky is eighth, Atsu 9th and Ash in 10th. And then comes the tail runners, our debutant Miramar in 11th, Alpha Alex in 12th, we have Marco in 13th, and Adam Foran, disqualified from the session, will start from the back with that broken hand. AJ giving us, why does he hesitate so much? Well, you do the opposite of hesitating when it comes to starting our session off, AJ. So hopefully you'll be able to pick up good places in the race. But hey, fifth place, not a bad place to start the race. Looks like it's getting quite overcast. I wonder if our weatherman AJ is able to give us a quick update on the weather. We'll be back for you with our race coverage shortly. There is time now to go and get yourself some popcorn, get yourself some snacks and drinks, take care of your various comfort needs before we get going. I'm being told race start will begin at 1:30, 30 minutes past the hour. The worst, apparently, for the weather from AJ is that it is going to be overcast for the whole race. Okay, so we do have some chance of a little bit of rain, but like I say, we'll be back for you with audio coverage of the race at 1:30, hopefully. But if you hear me shouting before that, then get running to the screen because someone will have pressed the ready up button. We'll see you in a few minutes. Well, welcome back to the coverage, folks. And it's certainly 1:30 by my clocks around here, but hopefully someone will give us the command to get readied up very shortly. Triple Bay there in the chat saying I doesn't know where he pulled that lap from. Yeah, we were celebrating that lap with you, Triple, as we get ready for our formation lap. I don't know why I started that. I was just distracted by the helicopter I hadn't noticed before. I think in the background, the medical helicopter in the paddock there. A very cozy position for that helicopter to take off, surrounded indeed by the cranes around as the Dutch fans in the apex of Tarzan are enjoying a drink or two, it seems. Have a look for any flares being let off. Let's have a look then into the tyre situation. Well, the top four have all decided to go with hard tyres. The next three, Leon, ARL and Speedy Spud, on the medium tyres. There we have the jokers in the pack, Sticky and Ash and Miramar, going for softs away from the start. They might regret that, given that the majority of the field are on harder compounds in front of them. Might make life rather difficult to get through. And then Alpha Alex, Marco and Adam Foran starting on the starting tyres from the from the main group at the front, the hards. So I'm expecting a mixture of 1 and 2 stops here. I am expecting safety cars. Tell me what you're expecting out of the race. Give me your podium predictions, top 3. And if you like the safety car number, please, tonight. I'm hoping for 0 safety cars, but I think that might be a bit in vain. We've got Strike on the pole position, of course. We've got Diector Ollie next to him and Ricky Maru, who has been able to find the brake pedal. Certainly in qualifying. I'll tell you what, that is Ollie making a bit of a mistake into the Audi S. He's going to let the rest of the field go through, I think, to just avoid getting into any kind of trouble. Turning circle on the car. He just waited too long, unfortunately, and was disqualified from the session. So we'll have cold tyres, I believe, to start the race. It's not been the most edifying of starts for this race for Diector Ollie, unfortunately. But behind him, Ricky Maru will be right tucked up behind the Aramco markings there of the poleman and championship leader, Strike Moist. We've got Ricky Maru then, Triple Bay, making a great positioning here for the Aston Martin team. Then comes Leon, ARL, Speedy Spud and Sticky further back into the pack. We're waiting then to find a decent camera angle as well. This game is driving me crazy this year with these camera angles. Why can't we see the cars properly from the front at the start of a race? Oh dear me. Anyway, the lights are on, the excitement's building, the revs, engines, notes lift, and it's drop the clutch and go. The cars at the back getting away very neat and tidily, actually, in comparison. But there is Diector Ollie on cold hard tyres, being passed by 2 drivers, by Leon, and I think it will be Triple Bay who will be passing Diector Ollie, who goes for a side swipe. That was a little bit rude, and that is going to possibly cause a little bit of chaos. We've got a driver right up on the high side of Hugenholtz. That was actually the Haas driver, ARL, who found himself up on the high side, up on the painted surface, and Triple Bay is retired already. Absolutely incredible. What a massive shame, but a VSC has been brought in straight away. Triple Bay then tried to recover the car. Something has gone very wrong and has DNF'd, unfortunately, in the first sector of the start of the race. He was certainly level, if slightly ahead, to Diector Ollie, and it was just a side swipe from both of them. Both hit sidewall to sidewall from my first view of the action. But unfortunately, Triple Bay unable to convert what was an incredible qualifying position for the team. Now with Diector Ollie away, and the race has restarted. We are green flag racing. Miramar up to 7th position from the start, making use of those beautiful soft tyres, as is the AlphaTauri in front of him, getting away very nicely indeed. As Marco drops down, ARL is in 10th position. Adam Foran is with him, as the 2 soft runners are slowing each other down somewhat, going for a move here. But Leon is going for a move down the inside of Ricky Maru, or at least holding Ricky Maru off. This is how the top 2 actually ended up finishing the official race results from the previous race. Moist ahead of Leon. Ricky Maru coming back to form here after the pain of Spain for Ricky Maru. And again, the soft tyre runners line astern through the corners. Do need to just try and make some headway on the cars in front. We've got Sticky, followed by Ash K, slightly further back as well. But very close racing throughout the grid here. Let's head back up towards the front to see Moist ahead of Leon, ahead of Ricky Maru and Director Ollie. Speedy Spud, I can't read exactly how far behind Director Ollie is at the moment, but Spud is certainly around, not too far away. There he is, the Red Bull, the yellow nose of the Red Bull, certainly within range of the DRS that will be enabled shortly here during our race. 36 laps we have of this relatively short circuit on the calendar. Very tight and twisty. Looks like one of our drivers is going pretty slowly there down the main straight, but it's Strike Moist ahead then by about half a second as Sticky comes into the pits to get rid of those soft tyres so soon. I wonder if he's picked up some damage, because he's not. That is not according to plan. Miramar then, the only driver left on the soft tyres in our race. He's 1.3 seconds away from Speedy Spud, but I imagine it won't be long before he's right there at the tail of the top 5. Outside of the top 6 then, we've got Ash K in 7th, Alpha Alex in 8th. Let's take a quick look at their progress through the grid so far. 3 places climbed by the McLaren driver Leon. Of course, most drivers gained from the retirement Triple Bay. Director Ollie, the big loser from the start at the top end of the grid, but we've had ARL drop 3 places. We saw what went wrong there for him. I think possibly the spinning Triple Bay was an issue there for ARL, and he took avoiding action. And then we've got down 3 and 5 positions, Atsu and Sticky, who has been into the pits, and we'll revisit then the tyre situation for those drivers. As Sticky has put on medium tyres, here comes Leon with a slipstream with a little bit of DRS, and certainly Moist did not make that difficult. In fact, a beautifully orchestrated switchback from Moist. Quite happy for Leon to do that. There's a lot of trust there between the two drivers to just allow him to take the inside, and as soon as that inside line was given over, Moist braked that slight little bit early for turn 1, Tarzan, and managed to perform the undercut very nicely. The old Jackie Stewart adage of go slow in, fast out to the corners was superior to the fast in, slow out of Leon through Tarzan, especially when considering that he overshot the ideal racing line as a result. So Moist very calm in the cockpit, and as Chuck Norris says, Leon looks like he's up for it today. Absolutely. Well, I think the top 4 drivers, definitely they could all be within a shout here. We know that Ollie has got his tail up today, and he was certainly not in a compromising mood with Triple Bay off the start. Didn't want to give up a position to Triple Bay. He'd already lost one to Leon, as Leon now with the DRS again. He's got great speed, great overspeed in the McLaren, and again we've got the Aston Martin allowing the inside line to work. Tried the switchback this time. Leon was a lot more under control, but Moist is being very canny here the early part of the race. He knows he can't win it on lap 5, but he can certainly lose progress, and it's happened to him in the races so far this season on several occasions where he's been caught in fights and ended up dropping down the order and having a real chase back on his hands. But he's got his eyes very firmly set on that second championship title here at the International Racing League. You've got Ricky Maru in 3rd position, watching very carefully here. And Leon in the medium tyres. Moist will know that Leon's got medium tyres, so he knows he's got a slight advantage over the McLaren driver at the moment, because he's able to live with the pace on the mediums, and he should be able to extend his pit stops a little bit further if we avoid a safety car intervention on our race. Here comes then the overspeed for the Aston Martin. A lot easier for him to tackle the position here, down into the inside line, hugs the apex very smartly from Moist. There is the safety car. We had a retirement from Miramar flash up on screen. I was hoping against hope that occurred in the pit lane, but unfortunately Miramar, who in the driver chat room was saying earlier, I don't understand how everyone brakes quite so late into these corners. Well, something's caught him out today, whether that's braking earlier than the drivers around him or not. So interestingly here, the medium runners do have the option of potentially fitting the hard tyres during this safety car period. I don't know if any of the hard runners will decide that this is too early for a pit stop for off the grid. Tell me what you would do in the live chat if you're a driver. Tell me what decisions you're making right now. Tell me what you'd do if you had started on the hards and it's only lap 6 of 36 and the safety car comes out. Do you always take a pit stop for good tyres and double down on the gains or losses you've made so far? We will see what these drivers decide to do. We'll ride on board with Leon, as of course we have to go around the pit lane. Chuck says stay on hards. That was my gut feeling, Chuck, but I'm definitely no driver. Here comes the medium tyre shod Leon, who's going to the pit lane. Excuse me. Strike Moist did have a little bit of controversy last week as Leon picked up a penalty, perhaps being slightly distracted there from Moist's dummy into the pits and slow running, presumably Moist. All's fair though on the way into the pits. There's a little bit of controversy in the race last week in the safety car period when Moist was notably slower heading down the pit lane entry portion, and he got hit by Jaden, who knocked off a portion of his own front wing in so doing, who was racing to the safety car line, to the pit lane entry line, the speed limit line there, that Atsu has just done exactly the same thing for. And certainly the stewards had a look at it, but deemed that no one should be racing under safety car conditions, and that essentially Moist had done nothing wrong. So if you disagree with that, do let me know. But I thought that was relatively fair handled. But again, Moist was a little bit slow heading towards the pit lane there, either caught in two minds himself or potentially wondering that the drivers should go. Now, interestingly, those medium runners and all the drivers who stopped behind Moist and Ricky Maru have put on fresh mediums and have committed to a further pit stop. So they haven't really gained anything. And oh dear, Ricky Maru, unfortunately, has just run into the back of Strike Moist, who presumably was braking hard to generate temperature in his tyres. Ricky Maru, I thought, had lost some wing. He has lost his left front wing end plate on the car. So I'm sure we'll now have to peel into the pits and lose loads of positions. Ricky will be pretty distraught by that one, I'm sure. And heading into the pits, then he comes. Unfortunately, that is, I just caught the tail end of that, so I can't tell if it was a slow Moist or a Lance Stroll-esque distracted Ricky Maru on the way into the pits under the safety car conditions. Unfortunately, that's Ricky Maru in, and his race a little bit ruined. Moist is going to be vulnerable now with the drivers on fresh medium tyres. However, they should all now... It's happened again. It has happened again, and Leon has been caught out. That almost caused more damage to Leon, Diecta Ollie and Speedy Spud. So certainly they're not quite anticipating what Moist is doing here. Moist is relatively close to that safety car, and therefore having to react quite suddenly when the safety car itself has to brake for the corners at much slower speeds, of course, through the corners than these F1 cars can do. Leon has picked up a penalty then. Oh, wow, that is pretty huge. Leon, 5 seconds penalty. That's for, I think that was the pit lane entry penalty, as it was with Atsu. So this is turning out to be absolutely enthralling safety car period here. We've had penalties, we've had contact, we've had a driver have to pit to repair damage. Crazy stuff. And there, again, Leon having to take avoiding action with the safety car coming into the pit notification from race control, and then suddenly Strike Moist has to put the brakes on to stay within the safety car delta time. He's looking for an opportunity here, but the pack haven't really slowed enough. If he presses go now, Moist, he will overtake the safety car before the safety car has pitted and got to the safety car line. Into the final corner we go, waiting for that opportunity. I think Moist's hands are tied now. I think he has to go some way down the main start-finish straight. He's tried to go here. It was a start-stop situation. Thankfully, the drivers have come to no further contact. And Leon making a little look. There's the second McLaren there of Adam Foran having a look down the inside of Ash K as Atsu retires. Atsu retires in the pits. So thankfully that's not going to be a problem as Ash K has got out onto the grass, lost a couple of positions, lost a lot of momentum and is struggling at the moment. We've lost 3 drivers. We're down to 11 drivers now and we're only on to lap 9 of 36. Back up at the front, well, certainly in the midfield, Adam Foran has passed Ash K now. Adam Foran into 6th position as Ricky Maru is on the very tail of this field. I'll go back to tyres and check out what Ricky Maru fitted. He's fitted medium tyres, kind of had to there. Couldn't really fit another set of hard tyres on the car. Moist is managing the car at the moment relatively well. The driver's not ready to pounce just yet. And I imagine now on the first lap after the safety car, he will be able to use the ERS a little bit more to defend from the slipstream. Leon will probably not have the overspeed required because it's a very fast corner leading to the start-finish straight. So you do lose some of that new tyre advantage on traction. And Moist managing the race at the moment. But I don't know if some of the drivers are going to feel a bit aggrieved about the safety car behaviour. Speedy Spud in 4th position, some changes for position. Adam Foran still with Ash K. ARL right up now to 7th place as Ricky Maru makes it up into 9th as well and is using those new tyres well. ARL on hard tyres that are only 3 laps old, so he's gone off the softs that he started on. He's fitted hard tyres. Can he possibly get those hard tyres right to the end of the race, I wonder? And it's certainly being very close at the head of the field. Now, remember, Leon has fitted medium tyres during the safety car. I believe that is 2 sets of mediums, and he's got a 5-second penalty before his next pit stop. And there was another problem there as Ash K almost comes to contact with the McLaren of Adam Foran in front of him. Leon is ready to pounce, it seems, here with the DRS that I believe will be enabled right now. Perhaps not just yet. No, one more lap before the DRS is actually usable. So just running down through the field, we have got an Alpine defending against an Alpha Tauri. Possible little bit of contact there between Alpha Alex and Sticky on the exit of the corner, but Ricky Maru has got himself into 7th position and the field has not got too far away. We know Ricky has got pace tonight and is on the comeback after a poor race by his own standards in Spain. Going back up then to see the drivers at the front of the field, and Leon is getting impatient now on those medium tyres. He has to strike here while the impetus is strong, and just behind them Adam Foran clatters into Speedy Spud for a moment. I think is releasing Speedy Spud and letting him through, but he doesn't want to let the Haas driver behind him of Ash K into the fray. Ash K is greedy for all of this one. He tries 2 wheels on the grass. It's almost 4 wheels on the grass as he goes the long way round the Audi S entry as this teammate takes him as well. Then we've got Adam Foran versus Speedy Spud. Adam Foran was trying to do the polite thing there into the corner, ended up losing positions to both of them, and then unfortunately Ash K just a little bit late into the corner with the brakes. Check out ARL though, up to 4th position on hard tyres with a massive overspeed because he's got the perfect exit from the final corner of the race. Round we go through Tarzan, hanging on bravely round the outside is ARL. Has he got the ability to hang on into Hugenholtz? Yes, indeed he has. And ARL getting himself up into 3rd position. Unfortunately, I've missed a change for the lead. Leon has managed to take Strike Moist into Tarzan, I believe. And now we have a new leader of the race. So Leon's mission is clear. Get 5 seconds ahead of Moist and try and position himself in a better place here. 1 pit stop each left remaining, I believe. So he needs to build that gap. Strike Moist can just hang out and wait and take his time. In that foray as well, Ricky Maru got himself back to 5th position. Adam Foran has drained the battery in defence mostly of the positions. Unfortunately for him, ARL got ahead and we could have a real showdown among our fastest drivers here with that. I think any of the top 5 or 6 drivers here are in with a shot of winning this race today. Moist is too far back on the hard tyres, but Adam Foran is going for it against ARL, who will try and go the long way again. And unfortunately, ARL, a half spin at the corner and lost the rear tyres for the cold hard tyres there that have done 6 laps so far. Unfortunately, lost them on the outside. He just couldn't quite get the same line he had earlier on and drops down then to the back of the grid. P9 with just Alpha Alex behind him. Drama unfolding. This is the most eventful dry Zandvoort race I have had to commentate over. Fantastic stuff here from the International Racing League. Ricky Maru back to 4th now because of ARL's dismissal down the grid. And Ricky looking pretty good here against the softer tyre shod McLaren in front of him. They both have DRS. They're just within range of Moist, who uncharacteristically for Moist is clipping down the straights here and has lost a little bit of ERS deployment. So Leon is getting away with this one. He may get away with that penalty on the car. Ricky Maru will love to see that red flashing light on the back of both cars in front of him. It gives him an awful lot of knowledge and confidence that he's got the pace here to try and action a move as soon as these soft tyres start scrubbing for Adam Foran. Leon ahead now, 1.8 seconds. Remember, he needs 5 seconds to be within a shot of holding on to the win here today. Moist will be very keen to not let that happen, and I'm wondering, does Moist start thinking about giving up a position so that he can use the DRS again, because he's on those hard, very old tyres now. When will the medium tyre window open for him? As AJ says, nice. Unfortunately, it's not been going well. He's in the pits. Is AJ ARL, same guy in our live chat, and I don't know if he's going for retirement or a change of strategy. No, change of tyres. It's not quite his style to quit at this stage. I don't quite know how you do a 2-second pit stop and type at the same time. AJ says nowhere to go, so on the gravel. So he feels that he wasn't given the racing room on that second attempt around the outside of the McLaren. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. Here comes Ricky Maru. Great little hook up there. What an overspeed, double overtake for Ricky Maru down out of the back corner. And that's not the first time Ricky has done that. I remember back in Silverstone, he shocked the racing community here by performing a double overtake. So certainly knew what he was doing there, coming through the Arie Luijendijk turn 15. Tremendous stuff from Ricky. Adam Foran is in 3rd place. Remember, Adam Foran, broken hand, driving with automatic gears, which is unusual for him. He's normally a manual driver, but unable to use the upshift on the car. Just about, and I imagine the pain is probably at the back of his mind at the moment, might be starting to hurt, and it might be affecting his performance later on in the race, especially if he's got strong force feedback. I wonder if he's turned that force feedback down for the race. Moist down into 4th position, but he has got that DRS advantage now that he didn't have before in pursuit. So he might feel that if he can just stay with these two podium sitters, Ricky Maru and Adam Foran, that he could be on those soft or medium tyres at the end of the race, but he might get tired of not being able to compete here on the hard tyres and decide to bail for mediums pretty soon. 20 laps to go, well, 21 laps to go, just shy of for the race. Leon leads, Ricky Maru and Adam Foran, and Strike Moist and Ash K are 4th and 5th. Ricky Maru has managed to close within DRS range of our leader Leon, who is on 1 lap older medium tyres. Ricky fancies this one today. You can absolutely tell that he came back from Spain. He took his pain, he took his criticism. He received a fair amount of it in the driver chat last time round, and he hasn't let it get to him. Ricky has done the right thing. He admitted fault, held his hand up, and he's got to work. And here he is at Zandvoort looking for a little bit of redemption. And just to answer the critics here on the track, I'm sure is certainly what he's thinking about on a rare moments where he's not fully occupied on the racetrack. It's Ricky just 0.4 of a second away from Leon, who I would have to imagine has spent a fair amount of ERS. I don't want to be too cheeky and look at that at the moment, but Ricky Maru looks really good here for a potential overtake. We'll join him on board as we get the overspeed. We get the inside line given to us, and we're back on the racing line almost by the braking zone. Taking the lead on lap 17 is Ricky Maru. And bear in mind, he's been down and out a couple of times in this race already. He leads the two McLarens, Leon in second and Adam Foran in third position. And behind them, Moist hanging on just to the DRS range of 1 second behind, but actually that's drifting. That's almost gone now. Adam Foran is on 10 lap old soft tyres, and Strike Moist will be counting those laps down now. If you've got an idea in the chat how long medium tyres can go in the second half of the race, do let me know. I'd love to know what sort of lap point Moist is hoping to stick on. He's 0.6 of a second away. Are we going to see some more McLaren action here today? We've seen it already this season, these McLaren drivers not paying too much attention to the engineer instruction in their ears, as Adam Foran will be hoping to move forward. As Atsu says, go Ricky, go. Atsu cheering across team lines here. Atsu is actually, of course, an Alpine driver, but he's a fan or a friend of Ricky Maru. No change between the McLarens this lap, and Ricky didn't manage to get too far ahead there. He's, of course, now for the first time in a long time, doesn't have the DRS to use. Alpha Alex passes Marco. Marco drops, actually. He's dropping down the order because he's in the pits. And Strike Moist is hanging on here grimly to some awful tyres. 17 lap old tyres. It looks like Leon moving around in the braking zone there into Shivlak corner. Just doesn't want his teammate to give him the old dive bomb. It would be rare to be able to successfully pass someone into Shivlak. It's such a fast corner. But I'm sure someone fancies trying it. Looks like Adam Foran clipping. There's the red light on the tail of the car this time. So these drivers are pushing very hard for this sector of the race. We're just about on the halfway point here of our race. So presumably now Moist is going to be thinking about a pit stop. He'll be aware that there's a penalty on the lead McLaren in front of him. Doesn't want to pit just yet. In fact, I wonder whether he's now thinking he's got what he needs. Here is a battle for the lead as Leon retakes the lead from Ricky Maru. Nothing Ricky could do about that with the DRS. And he tucks back in between those McLarens now. Presumably living to fight for the next opportunity. Just a reminder on the number of stops taken. Moist, the only driver to have not yet stopped in this race. Ricky Maru was with him at the start and elected not to pit during the safety car, but then had to pit for damage while following Moist in the safety car. So big changes so far. Just a 5-second penalty on the car there of Leon. Looks like Ricky Maru has got a speculative move there on the inside from Adam Foran. That will slow him down. That will slow Adam Foran down. And it was an unsuccessful move in the end. And the gap out front just increased very slightly. You've got to be very, very cooperative with each other to make passes in those corners in the middle sector. Ricky has lost a little bit of ground here to Leon, but he's still half a second away only. Opens the DRS bravely into Ari Luyendijk corner. Very, very early for that DRS to come up. And here he comes then, and he gets the inside line once again. He'll try and hog the inside, but not push Leon too wide. That was nicely done from everybody involved there. And Ricky retakes the lead on lap 20 after just losing it for one solitary lap. 5 seconds, the only penalty on the car, and we'll just ride with the tyre graphic for now, shall we, as we wait for the next pit stops to come. Lap 20 of 36. Certainly, Moist doesn't fancy a 16-lap run on medium tyres. Adam Foran just taking the inside line shape there, losing the rear end again. And is that going to be a change of position on the inside? Well, certainly Moist had to take avoiding action and ended up going for an overtake. It didn't quite work out for Moist that time out, but he'll be just wary that Adam Foran doesn't lose too much ground to Leon and Ricky Maru ahead, because Adam Foran's tyres are very much worse for wear. He could very much do with putting some medium tyres on now to take him home in this race. We only have 10 runners left. Ollie was our most recent retiree, as Leon does pit off the medium tyres before Adam Foran pits off the soft tyres. Moist is in the pits as well. Remember, Leon will take that 5-second penalty right here, and Moist will jump past the McLaren driver, get out there into some nice clear air. Certainly he's hoping, and I'm pretty sure that will be some beautifully clear air then for Strike Moist, who will have a run to the end of 15 racing laps, as Ricky Maru has almost gapped Adam Foran, who is struggling now on the soft tyres to stay with him. Out comes Moist in third position, only 20.3 seconds off Adam Foran's second position. Does Ricky Maru decide now to pit to the end, or is he going to run a little bit longer so that he can use the soft tyres at the end? I don't think those mediums are getting him home. But he could potentially stay on them a little bit longer and run onto soft tyres at the end of the race. But he will lose ground to Moist. So he'll lose track position. But he's not afraid, is Ricky, to go for the chase back and the overtakes. Into the pits then comes Adam Foran. So it's going to be really interesting. Where does Leon come out relative to Adam Foran? Whether Adam Foran's lap on the bedded-in medium tyres, on the soft tyres, will be significantly slower. I don't think it'll be 5 seconds slower than his teammate. Here comes Moist then, as Adam Foran is in the pits. Moist will pass him, I'm almost certain. The McLaren is on his way out of the pits. That could have worked out beautifully. Wow, Adam Foran with an electric pit stop there has managed to emerge with the overcut. So beautifully done from Adam Foran into second place now, and on the same tyres as Moist to the end. Moist will just want to make sure that they're not losing too much ground here to Ricky Maru, who's 19.8 seconds further up the road. A purple sector from Moist. He will be bitterly disappointed to find Adam Foran out in front of him, and Adam Foran just hands him a position off on the grass. Unfortunately for the McLaren driver, just pushing those mediums just that little bit further than they wanted to go over the gravel section, and grass and sand and gravel, and it has slowed him right down. He's still well ahead though of his teammate Leon, who has had to put on hard tyres. He'll be strong come lap 33 onwards, but will he be too far away to really make a difference? Ash K has leapfrogged Leon. Speedy Spud is not far away, but Ricky Maru is now in the pits, and he will have the option of tyres. He'll go for medium tyres. Strike Moist comes out of the pit lane. This is your lead battle. This is Aston versus Sauber, and the Aston just gets ahead. Ricky Maru has to just be patient with himself and the medium tyres for a lap until they're ready. How about that for a fastest lap from Alpha Alex, a 1:11 flat? Fantastic from him. 13 laps to go, and we have a consistent battle for the lead. You have your Season 1 champion and twice race winner of Season 2, Moist, at the front of the field, but Ricky Maru on 2 laps younger medium tyres here. Couldn't get those previous tyres through to the point where the soft tyre window was open to him, which would only have been another lap or two. He may rue that, but we'll see what final stint spec Ricky versus final stint spec Moist is going to be. I want to look at the telemetry. I'm sorry, I'm going to do it. Ricky on 59, Strike Moist on lower 34 actually, just showing how hard Moist has been working today to stay with these runners while he was on those difficult hard tyres. Ricky is quick through turn 1 and has caught Moist. He's definitely within range now. We have a straight fight between the top 3 here, all on the same tyre, and it is a 10 or so lap race left to go on the same tyres between these drivers. It's going to be about management of ERS, management of tyres. Hopefully everyone has fueled themselves so they don't need to concern themselves with lifting and coasting or running in the slipstream of the drivers in front. Hopefully all will be okay for them. It's lap 24 of 36. Moist leads Ricky Maru by half a second, and Adam Foran is only half a second further back in third. Big loser of the pit stop sequence, thanks to his penalty, was Leon, now 4.5 seconds behind these three, with Ash K for company directly behind him in fifth place. Speedy Spud is sixth, Sticky is seventh, Alpha Alex in eighth, Marco ninth, and ARL is down in 10th. Here comes Ricky Maru then for the overtake, again going for the lead once again in lap 25, and does so into Tarzan. He's done that 3 times now, taking the lead. This, I think, the first time he's done it against Moist, and considering that Ricky has been at the back of this race once, and Moist has always been near the front or lowest position, he's been fourth. Ricky has picked up some amazing speed. Obviously, the safety car incident meant he had to overtake nearly the whole field to get back into this run. So can't really speak highly enough of Ricky's performance here, as I say, especially after the trouble that he suffered in Spain. Hopefully that was just a temporary blip, as Atsu, watching on, says Ricky needs to run now. Run, Ricky, run. Adam Foran in third position. Wouldn't mind stealing some points off Moist here. Of course, that's what everyone is looking for here, is to dethrone Moist from the title. Is Moist too far back to challenge for the lead? I think he is. Into turn one, Ricky's got it quite easily covered there. Into turn one, we now go to 11 laps to go. Ash K very close here to Leon as well. So he closed right in, but couldn't do the job. Into Tarzan. He'll get a good slipstream through this roller coaster section. And you can see that the car in front is losing battery deployment. Needs to do some harvesting here, does Leon, and has lost ground. He was only 4.5 seconds away from the drivers in the podium positions. He's now 5.8 seconds away. Back to the front though, as we have Ricky Maru ahead of Moist, ahead of Adam Foran, to bring us home here for this 7th round of a 10-race championship. At the moment, Moist on nearly double the points of the second place driver. We've had many winners, 5 winners in 6 races, but it is not no driver who has won other than Moist has scored a particularly strong result on any of the other races. So Moist has been very consistent, as well as scoring 2 wins himself in this season so far. And we're into lap 27. Adam Foran clipping down the fastest section of the racetrack through the corners. And he could really do with some extra harvesting. Moist is not letting Ricky get away. Ricky is unable to really make any headway, but he's also conserving a bit more ERS. I hope that our lead drivers are not listening in to the commentary live. Some drivers do. All I will say is that it tends not to be the lead drivers that also do the listening live, or at least they don't admit it. With the exception, of course, of AJ, ARL, who can manage to multitask to that extent. Here is Strike then in that second position. Just can't seem to get the lift off the final corner that he needs. Ricky is strong coming out of that final corner, and that will be the key here, I think. Can he consistently manage that same amount of deployment, that same grip? He's got a really good line through the final corner. We saw him make a double overtake work earlier on and did all the work for that in that final corner in the build-up. Sauber leads Aston, leads McLaren in the Dutch Grand Prix here, race 7 of the championship. Remember, with 3 more races to go. Hope you'll be able to join us for all 3 of those. Hope you're enjoying the stream tonight as well. Please leave a subscription or a like on the video, or both if you have yet to do either. And hopefully we will be building a really strong following here in the weeks to come as we enter the very final stages of this second season showdown. It is medium tyres for those 3 drivers at the front of the field, waiting now for someone to either make a mistake or launch a move. You've also got the DRS train effect happening here. You've got the fact that Adam Foran hasn't got much ERS to spend, and Moist can't get off that final corner as well as Ricky Moreau at the moment. So really interesting battle. Someone's going to have to do something different, or Ricky is going to take this today. We had identical gaps between P1 and P2 and P2 and P3 for just a fraction of a moment there. And they're all behaving very well. I know I should watch other drivers a little bit, but unfortunately it's too tempting, and I'm sure I will miss some decisive action at the head of the field. Ash is only 0.3 of a second away from Leon, and thank you to Chuck Norris for his kind words there. As Marco's in the pits again, ARL has been unable to gain any time here on Sticky. I wonder if ARL has picked up some damage after kind of being at 90 degrees to the racing line through Tarzan. Look at that exit out of the Audi S there for Ricky Moreau. In now to the Cumho corner, turn 14, and he's done so much work. He tends to start high in Arie Luijendijk and finish high as well through the corner. So riding the wall of death effect perhaps through that final corner, and it's working for Ricky. Still the gap under half a second between each of the front 3 drivers. Strike Moist is waiting to pounce, but he can't quite find an opportunity. He's got to pile on the pressure here. 6.5 laps we have left to run. Adam Foran right on the tail, just simply cannot manage to harvest the ERS. And the drivers were complaining about that in the paddock earlier, just how difficult it is to manage ERS deployment around here. It just doesn't recover well. So once you've spent it, it's really hard to have anything left to spend at the end of the race. But if you don't spend it, you're leaving lap time out there. It's such a delicate balancing act. We've got big gaps. We've got Ash K has passed Leon. Ash K in the Haas is now in 4th position. So the top 4 different manufacturers. Where do you see that in motor racing? Usually it's Ricky Moreau in P1. It's Strike Moist in 2. It's Adam Foran 3rd. Behind them, Ash K will probably have to be defending against Leon now, down into the next corner. Let's just check those guys out as the main overtaking opportunity has passed for the top 3. Both drivers derating down the straight, but no way through. And now Moist has got a little bit closer here to Ricky Moreau, but Ricky can afford to manage the gap through the 1st and 2nd sectors, you feel. And then, because he knows that Moist, with a championship to consider, isn't going to go for a stupid move and risk it all. So Ricky's got that psychological edge in terms of picking up the win today. Firstly, he's got the edge because he's ahead. Secondly, he knows he's quick and he can make overtakes. And thirdly, he knows that Strike Moist does not need to fail to score a 2nd position here today when he's going for that championship and risk a DNF. And he can then wait till this very final few corners on the racetrack to use all of what he feels like he's harvested each lap on the ERS. This one, though, isn't looking good. This exit isn't looking great from Ricky Moreau, as I think Strike Moist has absolutely gunned that ERS to come out. It looks like he's got less than half the ERS. Adam Foran fancies a little look down the inside. Ricky Moreau puts himself on the outside of the circuit to try and run it round. But we saw ARL come unstuck using that manoeuvre. It's worked out, but it's certainly allowed Adam Foran to have a look round the outside through Hugenholtz. It's a safety car. Safety car because Alpha Alex has crashed and is out of the race. I don't see exactly where he is, but unfortunately Alpha Alex out of the race. Our 2nd safety car. The drivers now, it's advantage the lead, it's advantage the 2nd position driver. He can just do the opposite of whatever the leader does in terms of going into the pits. And then usually the drivers following the 1st pitting driver will follow suit. Strike could pit and give up track position and end up giving up 3 or 4 track positions. Something's happened there. I think it was just Ricky Moreau checking his race director for a moment, just pausing, and he ghosted for just a second. So waiting now to decide on potential pit stops or otherwise. They were neck and neck, were the Alfa Romeo and the McLaren. I didn't think we were going to get another safety car here, and certainly it will be the last of our safety cars. Into the pits do they come? Moist has got form doing this. He cuts across the bows of Ricky Marou, steals a march, and Adam Foran has overtaken into the pit lane, and Ricky might feel a little bit aggrieved about that, because the instruction from stewards from the previous race was no overtaking under safety car. Ricky was somewhat caught off guard there, because Moist cut across the safety car entry line to make a late decision to pit. Again, some leagues, I don't know if it's this one, but some leagues disallow that action. You're not to cross either of the pit lane lines, so you make your decision early enough. But that puts Ricky Marou at the tail of the field. It puts Leon in the lead on the old hard tyres now. The roles reversed from the start of the race. Surely he can't hold on. Marco picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car, unfortunately. Leon has paid his penalty. Chuck Norris says naughty, naughty. Now, what do you mean by that? Do you mean is the Adam overtake or the Moist late call to the pit lane? I wonder. Or is it both? We shall see. Leon has the lead now. Out of nowhere, he decided track position was king here. Again, Chuck, I need to know what you're saying. You're not allowed to what? Overtake under safety car? Pretty sure that's not allowed. Or cross the safety car entry line. You've got time to spend a couple of extra seconds to write it out for me, now that we're under safety car conditions. It's lap 33. Leon leads on the road, at least, from Moist, Adam Foran and Ricky Marou. That has spun everything all around. Atsu says Moist's pit stop was very naughty in his mind. Well, I say some leagues, I know that is a slam dunk. I don't know the rules inside out, I'm sorry to say, of the International Racing League. So I really should know the rules. But quite frankly, the drivers should know more than I do. Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's definitely tricky. Like I say, it's not super sporting. And he definitely sort of dummied his way into the pits in the previous safety car, which is fine. Don't think there was a problem there. Don't think he actually went on the pit lane entry line, Moist. He just looked like he was going to, and he ended up slowing the field who were heading into the pits. Ricky, what is going through Ricky Marou's head now? He's got to feel like, is he just still determined to win, or is he feeling like something is working against him here to win this race? It's lap 34 of 36. AJ saying a safety car has brought him closer, but he's got a chance to fix things. AJ, or ARL, is in 7th position. Soft tyres on the field with just hard tyres on Leon's car, and the drivers are going to be absolutely praying. Well, I would say 8 of our drivers are praying that the safety car comes in this lap. I'm almost certain it has to. Leon will be praying it stays out and then there's a little glitch or something, and he only has to defend 1 lap. There it is. The safety car will come in this lap. We will ride, I think, on board with Ricky. I think, though, the advantage he took so much time to carefully preserve, which was the ERS deployment he had a big advantage, has now disappeared because everyone's got full ERS. It's all about how you handle it on these final 2 laps of the race. Leon will be slow to launch away. He'll have trouble getting through the final 2 corners competitively, so don't be surprised if Leon condenses the field right close to the start-finish line here. Everybody will fancy their chances at a podium here tonight. We are green light. Leon has gone just when there was a big enough gap. Here comes Ricky Marou, mashing the ERS deployment button. Can't find a way down and in to an overtake. This is going to be an absolute scramble, because Leon is going to try and hold on as Moist goes for the high line. He opens the door. Adam Foran tags him. Ricky tags him. It looks like it's Ash K moving up the order as they go 2 by 2 through the roller coaster section I don't know if there's any damage on the cars. It looks fairly slow. Adam Foran and Moist go side by side through Shivlak corner. Adam Foran trying to hold on, a side swipe again, and Adam Foran has to bail from the move. Certainly Moist feeling pretty bullish out there. Someone's lost their front wing. Someone's lost part of the car. The McLaren of Adam Foran is spun around. Ash K is in third position now. Ricky Maru in fourth place has stayed ahead of ARL. But has Ricky got damage on the car? I wonder. Yes, he's lost that front left end plate again. Ricky will certainly not be able to fix it or take any kind of restorative action in the pits. Here comes Strike Moist then. Has the DRS been opened and available? It has not. It will be a drag to the line in the next lap. We start the final lap of the race and Moist is going for it. He's got Ash K down the inside as well. Moist wiggling the car into the braking zone, unsure of what the car can do for him. Ricky Maru can't get around that first corner cleanly because of the drop in the downforce that he's got on the performance. So he's losing places hand over fist is Ricky Maru. Ash K's right there. He's spent all of his ERS. I can't quite believe what I'm seeing here, as Strike Moist could well potentially take the win on the road at very least. He's spent all his energy. It's Moist, Ash K, Leon, ARL in fourth after being plumb last earlier on. Ricky Maru trying to hold on to some points, but he's just dropped to sixth place. I think he might drop further as he battles with Speedy Spud. He's got his position back again. Moist is in the lead as they head into the Audi S here. He's got the fastest sector of the racetrack in the second sector. That looked like was ARL spinning. Oh, good grief. ARL has spun into the Audi S, over-egging the ability of the tyres into the corner. Moist is going to take this one, and he's going to take a third win of the championship. Moist wins in Zandvoort from Ash K. Leon hung on those hard tyres in third position. It was a drag race to the line, and Ricky Maru finished in fourth ahead of Speedy Spud by the tiniest of margins. What absolute chaos. We should ban safety cars in the final 5 laps of the race, because quite frankly, that was incredible. Ash K picks up driver of the day. Hard to argue with that, because he did manage to keep a clean set of wheels. AJ, well, he's at least been kind enough to us to leave all of that with asterisks, and he's not happy about the behaviour of the McLarens. Moist will be very, very happy with this one. I just wonder if the stewards are going to be called in to question those 2 incidents on the way into the pit lane. Unfortunately for Ricky Maru, I don't know that time penalties are actually going to help him a great deal in the points haul for this championship. The champagne is sprayed by our 3-time winner this season now, Strike Moist, and our reigning champion. Could his lead now be unassailable for the second consecutive title? Strike Moist wins the race, picks up the fastest lap, a 1:10.635. That may even have been the final lap of the race. He picked that up. Ash K came in second place with a climb of 9 places to from 10th in second. Then comes Leon, who hung on with those hard tyres bravely at the end in third place. Ricky Maru finishes 4.2 seconds. That is really important. 4.2 seconds away from the lead in fourth place. There are 6 drivers within 5 seconds of the leader. I'm just going to say that. Speedy Spud is in fifth with Sticky in sixth. ARL brought the car home despite being banged up and bruised in 7th position, 7.7 seconds away. And then the first of our retirees, I think. No, Marco did finish a lap down. Adam Foran brought the car home, but he was 2 laps out and DNF'd, and so did Alpha Alex, Diector Ollie, Atsu, Miramar and Triple Bay. Absolutely breathless stuff. I will let you know, of course, if the stewards have anything to say about these provisional results today. But that was round 7, 3 to go in the championship. I've been Webbo. This has been the round 7. And relax. We will see you next time for the race. From now, from everyone at the league, from our host Speedy Spud, from our host Leon, I should say, and from me, Webbo, thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.